The Candlepin Pro Series calendar is winding down, and today Spread Eagle Productions presents the action from the third to last stop on the tour. From Exeter Lanes in New Hampshire, this is the random draw 3-man teams. 12 teams where bowlers qualify on merit and are assembled by fate. Today's feature presentation is the final match, a one-game final between the best 2 teams. The day started with all bowlers rolling 5 strings, highest pinfall wins. At stake 250 Pro Series points, and one of 36 spaces in the knockout round for 300 more points. Longtime pro Bob Whitcomb qualified first, including a 175 in the second. Unlucky for Steve Reno Jr.'s 169 and Peter Crawford's 152 that string. High singles in the other strings, Chris Bovair, Tim Matero, Dave Godwin, and Lou Gacharna, all in the 140s. The second dozen includes Richie Myrick, Dave Godwin, and Hall of Famer Craig Holbrook, all in the top 10. Dashes indicate bowlers, by the way, who did not join the Pro Series, so no playoffs, but eligible to play for the cash and prestige. Richie Myrick and Mark Webber with the stars tied Justin Waters and Hall of Famer Det Klein. High singles broke the tie, as you see. John Winchell, Keith Beaupre, and Brian Crowell are all currently in a playoff spot. The top 24 make the playoffs on Saturday, April 2nd at Timber Lanes. Top 8 get a first-round bye. With the ranking set, raffle time. Nick Zuffelato conducted the drawing for teams, and here were the results. In red, the top 12 bowlers in order, and their random teammates underneath. One from the middle in yellow, and one from the bottom in green. Numbers indicate Pro Series ranking right now, and for the knockout rounds, all bowlers rolled 1 string apiece, and the teams wanted the highest combined total in order to make the cut. For round 1, have a look at the 130 plus scores in orange. Notice how Team Zuffelato was the only team that didn't need one to qualify, and how most of those big scores came from the lower qualifiers. Crowell's 153, Holbrook's 145, and Beaupre matching Baker's 140. The bottom 4 teams were eliminated. In round 2, pins were tougher to come by. Whitcomb's 141 picked up where he left off. Mark Webber's 136 carried his team to the top, but Matt Susi's 133 unfortunately was not enough. 4 more down and 4 to go, bringing us to the semi-final highlights. Semi-final round, watch lane 2. Here's Craig Holbrook making a ridiculous 2-2 split for Team Gacharna. Then on the next ball, a strike on top of that. The next box following that, big time drop, taking out 8. Wait, are we sure about that? Nope, there's another pin, that's 9. He would go on to make this single pin spare. And then atop all of that, another strike on top, taking another 20 out of the ATM. 10th box, converting the half Worcester. And atop that, did you guess another 20 box? Well, you'd be absolutely right. Craig Holbrook finished the semifinals with a string of 159. But who would join him? Team Zuffelato? Here's Mark Webber, who had a spare 2, but then 2 other big marks. This strike in the 7th frame, and then in the 8th frame to follow it up, this gigantic hit, hitting pins off both sidewalls, back-to-back strikes. It came down to the very end. Bob Whitcomb, bolstered by spares by both of his teammates, makes this 7-pin for the spare. Josh Daly on his right getting the 139 for a great spare of his own. And then Whitcomb needing a strike to tie. Very tall task. And look how close he comes, and look at the reaction. You can also see Josh Daly on lane number 5 with a big 8 fill to finish his string, 141. But in the end, another balanced performance from Walsh, Webber, and Zuffelato saw them through, this time by 1 pin, pitting them against Lyonnais, Holbrook, and Gacharna in the final. And here we are, straight from the semi-finals into the finals. Starting off is Justin Lyonnais and Steve Walsh. Walsh on lane 4. First ball wrecks the rack, a strike. Lyonnais finds the head pin as well. Pin's tumbling and the 10 is all that's left. Justin's mid for a spare, just to the left. With apologies, the live audio did not work, so in the hope Leda Lane's management will forgive me, we've poached audio from their live stream of the US Invitational, so that it still sounds like bowling. If they forgive me, my name is Greg Gouillart, and if not, you can call me John Doe. The strike fill from Walsh. Down the 2-8 pocket. Half Worcester. Lyonnais finds the head pin. 2-4-7-10. Walsh nearly converts it, and the 7 pin is all that remains. Lyonnais tries, gets the 4 pin. How many more pins can Lyonnais get against this 10 box? 8. Bringing up 18 for 2. The scoreboard will populate in just a moment. Walsh's third frame on the head pin, creating a 3-1 split. Lyonnais getting a good mix, and it's 2-4-7. Justin Lyonnais appeared on Fitchburg's King of the Palace TV show out of the former New Palace Lanes. He qualified second on the stepladder, defeating Al Greco, and then finished runner-up to John Duffield. If you want to take a peek at that match, skip to about 16 minutes 30 seconds for the answer to that quintessential question. Oh, what a spare that is! Picking up the 3-1. But it's the answer to the quintessential question, how does that happen? Comedy gold, you're welcome. Three frames down, Lyonnais with the chance to fill the spare to draw the match level. Also the great start, dropping 8 on the first ball. Lyonnais, a fill of 7. It's a good fill, but a bad and unlucky leave with the 4-5-7. Walsh gets the headpin, kicks it over off the sidewall, and it didn't quite make it over to the 7. Lyonnais does well to get the kingpin. Still 2 more to get on the third ball. Walsh converts his 10. Lyonnais leaves 2. Walsh ending up with a 3-pin lead after those 4 frames. 1 more from each of them, and they will sit down and give way to Holbrook and Weber. Walsh gets 5 on the first ball. Lyonnais a big hit on the head pin. Yes, he carries the corner. He'll have a chance at the 6-10. Walsh a big second ball. And he will sit down on a spare. Lyonnais just shades his spare try to the left. Pins in the right corner. Dastardly as always for a right-hander. Picks them up this time. And it's 10. Justin Lyonnais 53. Steve Walsh on 56 and a ball. Now on your right, Mark Weber, and on your left, Craig Holbrook. Weber's got the head pin and a split 3-2. Holbrook starts in the 4-8. Weber finds the curtain on the second ball. The second ball from Holbrook converts it. We saw that half Worcester conversion in the semis. What a big conversion here as well. Weber begins with a 7. Mark Weber competed with Bowling Ball Mafia in the US Invitational, out of the US Invitational that took place at Leda Lanes. We called it today. He had a 133 high single to make the middle tier, 136 to pace his team to the top of the quarterfinals, followed by a double strike in the semifinals as part of his team's 1-pin win. He's got a lead to look at, does Holbrook. Big mix, big fill of 9 on his spare. Chance for each. Weber just chisels the objective back. Holbrook goes back to back. And 9 for Weber brings him up to 16. Holbrook 29 and a ball through 2. Hall of Famer Craig Holbrook's best finish so far in the Pro Series was in the Central Park Lanes 10 stringer, where he cashed for his 8th place finish and picked up 230 standings points in all. He comes in ranked 9th in the series. 5 down, 5 to get for Weber. Holbrook filling again on the head pin, and he's got this 4-5-7 leave just like earlier. Head pin brushing the 2 pin, it topples to the side, and what are you left with? Not a whole lot. Oh, what a big ball from Weber, and that's a spare, his first in the string. Holbrook does the best he reasonably can, but can't get the kingpin. 10. Craig Holbrook off to a fast start, but Mark Weber filling the spare with the chance to close the gap. His fill hits the head pin. It's a good leave, it's a good fill. It's 8. Holbrook looks to have the 4 horsemen left side. Weber's try. Back-to-back spares. Holbrook just missed the head pin, and it's 8 down and 2 to get. Wood in between the gap, so a head pin shot might shoot the pin over. Yes, it does. 10 bucks. So, 2 marks for Craig to begin, but now Mark Weber with 2 marks in reply. How high will this fill be? His shot, unfortunately, only gets 3. Holbrook gets the head pin, dominoes tumbling, still falling they go, and the 9 pin, the only one reluctant to drop. Weber with a good bounce-back ball, converting a 7-pin leave for another spare, 3 in a row. Holbrook will sit down on a mark as well. And so far it's advantage to Team Gacharna by 6. Here is Lou Gacharna and Nick Zuffelato. Zuffelato on your right. And his first ball finds the head pin and leaves a 3-2 split. Wood does kick over behind the 3. Gacharna finds the head pin. Almost beginning with a strike. Zuffalato's try. Got the 3 pins on the right side, a good second ball, if not a mark. Gacharna spares, and he's off to a flying start. $10 for Nick. Nick Zuffelato, aka Freshie, one of the tournament directors of the Pro Series. He's another bowler who came in. He's a bowler who came in today out of the playoff picture, but will now be in the top 24 win or lose in the final. He's competed in a number of other Candlepin broadcasts, including our first money match right here on SCP with Nate Lees. A huge mix on the head pin for Zuffelato, and he's left with the 7. Gacharna filling, washes out. 7. He's left with the 1, 3, and 10. Freshie's try, gets the 7, and he spares. Gacharna got in the pocket and just couldn't carry the 10. Pin hitting the sidewall shy of the corner. Completes the 10. Lou Gacharna's best finish to date in the Pro Series was the Spare Time Recreation Knockout Tournament. He made it to the semifinals in the tournament where Keith Beaupre went on to defeat Tim Douglas for the win that day. Zuffelato to Phil, got the head pin. And it's 8. Level between the top tier bowlers after 2 frames. Lou has 4 horsemen right and the 8 pin, also known as the Caleri. For the spare, yes! 1 pin went down quickly, the other somewhat slow, but it did go down in the end. Gacharna needs a 3rd ball, 5 down and 5 to get. Just the back pin, 6. So Zuffelato already 4 pins in hand in this frame, plus whatever he gets on this bonus ball. To Phil. Got the head pin, strike on spare. Gacharna's got the mirror image of the lead he had last time, this time 1, 2, 4, 7, and 9. His time. There might be rolling wood back there. You have to wait for all the pins in the plate, on the plate, excuse me, to hold still before delivering your shot. He goes now, and he wasn't far off the head pin at all. Same situation, 5 down and 5 to get. Six again. Gives Nick an opportunity to pull further ahead. Already up 15, no, now 19 with that. And now with 2 bonus balls for this strike fill. See Team Freshie with a slight advantage, got the head pin, 7 on the first ball. Gacharna's got the head pin. Yes, he's got an opportunity. This is 6 and 9. Zuffalato's second ball. Gets 1 more pin, so an 8 fill. Brings him to 26 over par. Gacharna narrowly misses that. Nine for Nick. And 10 for Lou. Big advantage for Team Zuffelato, although we need to enter in Gacharna's score. Still ahead by a couple of marks. Plus they sat down on 2 spares, and Team Gacharna sat down with just Holbrook's spare. Still plenty of bowling to go. Remember, this is a 1-string format. And Walsh breaks up the split. No, excuse me, there is a 7-pin. I beg your pardon. 2-1 split. Lyonnais has a 2-pinner. Walsh just narrowly missing. Got a big sidewall bounce and it didn't collect them both. Lyonnais spares. Walsh's fill was 7 on that spare, and he now has a 9 box to go with that, so he's 12 over par. But I did forget to mention about Steve Walsh. He came in ranked 30th in the Pro Series, though even if he loses this match, the strong finish will vault him into the top 24 and into the playoff picture. He had sound finishes in both the Portsmouth Knockout and Central Park Lanes 10-string events. Walsh gets the head pin and a 7, no, check that, 8 drop. Lyonnais to fill. Big head pin hit. That's a 9 fill. Wood right in front of the 6 pin that appears to be. Walsh kicks a pin over. That did not miss by much. Just in front of the 10. Lyonnais collects his spare. Back to back. And Walsh completes a 10. So currently between these two bowlers, the match is tied, but Lyonnais with a chance to fill, looking to close the gap. Walsh with a half Worcester, may have collected the 5 as well. And Lyonnais with a strike on spare, 3 consecutive marks. And already on pace for a 120s string at least. Walsh with a good second ball, but a difficult pinning problem for the third. And it is a 6 box. Leaves him with 88 for 8. Lyonnais at least 102, plus now the chance to fill this strike. And after that score is entered in for Lyonnais, you will see his team, Holbrook and Gacharna, will be ahead. His first ball takes out 3 pins, it appears. Walsh gets a couple more. Lot to get on the third ball. And Lyonnais ends up with a 5 fill. Still 27 over par. Ooh, and Walsh couldn't get a good third ball. I believe that will go down as a 3 box. Lyonnais gets a 7, and he's up to 114. Walsh's final box starts with 6 down and 4 to go. Lyonnais 1 and 2. Walsh with a big pickup on the head pin and a spare. Lyonnais kicks a pin across in the 6-10. I think that pin went in between the two. Unbelievable. He's left of target on the right corner, unfortunately, but it is 122. Steve Walsh will stay up to fill this bonus. 1 ball at this final frame on lane number 4. And it clobbers the head pin, and it's a 9 fill and a 110. Put that in, and you will find that this is a close match again, as Holbrook and Weber step up to complete their strings. Hey, if you like the video, we ask you please hit like and let us know. Of course, we have plenty more bowling coverage planned where that came from. Please do be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon if you want to be notified about our future videos. Weber filling a spare, so is Holbrook. His fill is an 8 and a 9, in fact. Holbrook with a big fill on his spare. That's 8. Big scores potentially cooking for both. Weber gets a spare off the piece of wood. Capped it, hit the single. And Holbrook gets one likewise. Back to back for Holbrook. 3 in a row for Weber. Weber's fill is 6. 82 for 6. Holbrook's fill. He gets 8. Good fill, terrible leave. Holbrook ahead by 10 pins at this point. Weber did the best he could. I believe there were parallel pins that were making this difficult. Holbrook can't overcome that difficult challenge. But both pinning soundly. 10 for Weber, 9 for Holbrook. That 9 from Holbrook was the first pin he left standing all string long. You've seen a couple of examples how the third ball can have a major impact on scoring, for better or for worse. Weber got the head pin. Yes, he breaks up the split. 2-pinner is what's left. Holbrook finds the head pin. They tumble. The 7-pin does not. Weber's tried. Just hits the piece of wood and doesn't get the 2. How about Holbrook? Yes, that's gone. Spare in the 8th, already 31 over par. Weber gets a 9. He's still 21 over par. But Holbrook with a chance to take the lead for his team on this mark. Weber gets 6. 7. The 7-pin drops, so that does make the fill a little easier. How's this fill from Holbrook? It's 8 and 9. That brings him up to 40 over. Weber! Oh, he's got the 1-2. Just couldn't drive the head pin straight back. Holbrook spares again. 10-pin, relatively easier for a lefty, but still very difficult. Hey, just a reminder, there are 2 great places to see bowling streams live and on demand. Number 1 on our Facebook page at Bowling Nerd Network, facebook.com/bowlingnn. And you can also check many ACST tournament broadcasts from SCP colleague Paul Grant at the tournaments page, facebook.com/Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour. Oh, did you see that shot from Mark Weber? A lot of 9 drops on the head pin. This is fantastic bowling. Holbrook's fill. Still washes out 6. When you're hot, you're hot. 46 over. Weber gets a spare to conclude his string. Holbrook against the 3-1. Just on the 4-pin. He's still got some work to do on the 3rd ball. And completes a 9, getting the 2 pins right out in front. 145. Pairs nicely with Lyonnais' 122. Walsh at 110. Weber 120 plus 7 more, 127. You see the margin on your screen, just 4 pins in hand for Lou Gacharna and company. Zuffelato on lane 4. Winners on the winning team get 300 standings points. The runners-up just 200. Zuffelato an 8 drop on the head pin. Both bowlers open coming into this 6th frame. Gacharna's got the head pin, and he's got a strike. Nick just got 2. There was another pin hiding back there, unfortunately, and the sleeper pin did not go. Nine box. Zuffelato 84 for 6. Gacharna has 59 plus 2 balls through 6. Nick deals at lane 4, right down the middle, spread eagle. Gacharna filling the strike, got the left side out, so 4 down so far. Zuffelato got 2 on the right side. Always tricky to pin against these devious splits. Gacharna doesn't quite make the objective or the spare. Still a very good fill on the strike. It's 8. 67 for 6. Good third ball from Zuffelato. That's a 9-box against the spread eagle. Gacharna gets 10 and stays the 7 over par. Zuffelato ahead in the comparison against Gacharna. But so far, it's Team Gacharna with the advantage by 14. Freshie on 4, he washes out. He's got a big sidewall carom, and I think it took out almost the middle 2 rows. So 1 and 3, 7, 8, and 10. Lou gets a big mixed. Pins falling one after the other. 7 is all that's left. Zuffelato, good second ball again. Maybe the marks aren't coming, but the pins are dropping. Gives him a chance down the line, perhaps. But Gacharna spares. Nine for Zuffelato. 15 pins ahead already for Team Gacharna. And with a big fill, could this be the beginning of the end? Pins aren't a given, we've seen. What do these last 2 frames have in store? Zuffelato breaks up the split. He's got a chance at this with a 3-pinner. Gacharna's spare fill is a 7, bringing him to 14 over, so it becomes a 22-pin lead. This is must make, I would say, for Zuffelato, and he does make it. Already 22 over and the chance for even more. Gacharna not quite on the object, still a third ball to come. Has a big lead and doesn't want to give anything away. Gets a 9-box out of it. 103 for 9. Zuffelato at least 112. Needs 2 big fills and still needs Gacharna to give something away. Oh, that's a big fill. Does he get a strike on it? Not quite. The 5 didn't drop. Still a 9 fill, and he's 121 for 9. Gacharna, a big washout. 8. If he converts this 1-3, I believe it's the beginning of the end. Or if Zuffelato misses this 5. Nick gets his. And so does Lou. So he maintains the 12-pin advantage. It is mathematical. Even if Zuffelato got a 10 fill, and even if Gacharna got a 0 fill, it's all over. Lyonnais, Holbrook, and Gacharna victorious in the 3-man random draw tournament. The fill for Zuffelato is 8 for a spectacular 139 string. And Gacharna gets 6 more, 119. To go with Holbrook's 145 and Lyonnais' 122. Zuffelato 139, Weber 127, and Walsh 110. What a great match of bowling that was. Let's take a look at the Pro Series standings after this event. Lou Gacharna, Bob Whitcomb, and Craig Holbrook were the big point getters of the day. It's no accident that these 8 talented bowlers make up the top of the pack, currently in position for the first round bye in the April playoffs. Moving down, not everyone had a good day, but Nick Zuffelato obviously catapulted his way into the standings, and Brian Fuller Jr. scored very well with qualifying 8th and reaching the round of 8. Finally, we see how Steve Walsh's and Scott Douglas's deep runs into the KO tournament propelled them up. Look also at Tim Matero, qualified 3rd, finished 2nd in the round of 12, and now those 275 standings points put him on the right side of the playoff cut. Remember, our broadcast of the Lead Lanes Pro Series doubles is also up right here on our channel. Obley has showcased the best of the best from that tournament. Blood, sweat, and cheers, as he puts it. Do please check that out when you get the chance. For now, on behalf of Spread Eagle Productions, my name is Greg Gouillart. Thank you very much for watching our broadcast of Candlepin Bowling, and until next time, bye-bye.